How good is the start?
It's a good start.
It's a great start.
Yeah, it's the first win.
And why do we play?
You play to win the game.
And what do we want?
I want winners.
I'm not bipartisan. I'm not bipolar. I'm not Biden.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there.
And so are the Buckeyes at 2-0, looking to go to 3-0 against an Ohio Bobcat team that feels like it could be a better test than Grambling, not the big test that Texas was, but certainly a team that is capable. They knocked off West Virginia. Rutgers was lucky to escape with a win. It will tax Ohio State, I think, a little bit in the first, second quarter, and then you'll see them pull away in the third quarter, the fourth quarter. But we're going to be watching the Ohio State offense for a number of reasons, not the least of which is Julian Sayin, who has been playing outstanding football as starting quarterback at Ohio State. And I am willing to tell you, like, they could be much better than we've anticipated them to be. It's already looking like a 4,000-yard passing season, maybe even a 40 TD season. Just how many interceptions do we think that Julian Sayin is going to throw? Because he looks very cool, very calm, very collected when he is surveying the field and distributing the ball to the playmakers, notably Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. But the reason that he's been able to do all of this is because he's got 5 guys in front of him that are absolutely quarterback guys. Like, they really do enjoy protecting him. And I can say this because there's a wild stat that Ohio State is one of 11 teams to hold. And it's really kind of fascinating that they're the only team to do this against a ranked opponent as well. But in the lead up to this, like, I'm also looking at Julian Sayin, who set a program record for consecutive completions to start a game with 16. The only only incompletion he threw was an interception. Threw for 300 yards in this game against Grambling. Yes, it was 70-0. Yes, it was Grambling, where the marching band is way more competitive than the football team. But you understand, right? It's still nice to see Ohio State do what it's supposed to do as the number 1 team in the country, and for a quarterback like Julian Sayin to live up to the hype. Remember, he was 5-star quarterback too the year after Arch Manning came out as the number 1 player at his position, and number 1 player in 2023. And so far, he has outplayed him each and every step of the way. And one of the reasons is he's really good about getting rid of the football. He is averaging just 2.61 seconds between the snap and letting the ball go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi is all the offensive line is supposed to be able to give you. Everything else is up to the quarterback. So if you hold the ball for longer, that sack should belong to you if you get sacked. But Julian Sayin's been getting rid of the football. And a really cool stat from Pro Football Focus in reference to this, with his completion rate of 79.5% of his passes for a gaudy 11.1 yards pass per attempt, he's would place among the top players in the NFL at his position with his release time. Like, if you combine what he's going for and how quickly he gets rid of the ball, he is a top 10 NFL quarterback. Now, playing quarterback in the NFL is not playing quarterback against Grambling or Texas, but you understand my point here. Not bad for a guy who is just going into his 3rd start. I mean, we're getting the impression from Julian Sayin this year that we got from Jeremiah Smith last year in his first time as a starter. The guy is slowly, surely beginning to break out. And this is in large part with a new offensive coordinator. Like, there's still some conversation about who's actually calling the plays, but I genuinely believe Brian Hartline is out here dialing up a script that is working, because it doesn't look dissimilar from the one that they used last year. And they still want a healthy balance of run and pass. They want to be able to run the football. They also want to be able to do play action. They want to have people bite down, and they also want to be able to run out the clock later in the game. We haven't seen the kind of run game this year that we did last year when you had Quinshawn Judkins and Travion Henderson leading the charge. This year, it's been a lot of C.J. Donaldson, some James Peoples. But in this last game, Bo Jackson, Turbo Rogers on the brain. Bo Jackson coming through with 8 rushes for 98 yards. Could he get more touches against Ohio? And could he put himself into that 1-2 rotation, or even become the number 1 in that room? I think Ohio would be an interesting place to see this. So I'm always curious what Carlos Loughlin is trying to do with the running backs, beyond I'm trying to recruit somebody better than you the next year to make sure you don't get on the field and them take up that challenge and be competitive, because he's not handing out freebies here. My favorite quote when he was at Oregon, don't bring no soft baked batch cookies around me. Like, I don't play all that. He's a hard man to play for. And I think Bo Jackson is really leaning into that. And if he continues to play like he had been playing, because the job of a running back is to make people miss. The blocking scheme will get you to the second level. Once we get to the second level, you got to do some of that running back joint, right? You got to do some of that juking and jiving stuff. You got to be able to shake people out of their boots or run them over. That's why we give you the ball. We don't give you the ball to get us 4 yards. We'll get 4 yards with anybody back there because the offensive line and the blocking scheme will be that good. After that, can you run through a safety? Can you run through a linebacker? Can you make those people miss? Can you be special with the football? That's what I would like to see from Ohio State's offense in the run game. In the passing game, I just like to see them keep up this statistic that's, again, it's just wild. So there are 11 teams in FBS who have not allowed a single sack all year. And Ohio State is the only one to do it against a ranked opponent. That would be Texas. They are keeping that dude clean. If you are a fan of Tyler Bowen, you already knew this, but my goodness, if you're not, if you hadn't been, you need to be now. I thought that with Justin Fry, making the leap to the NFL, that they might actually take a step back, but Austin Silverfeld has been outstanding at left tackle, taking a lot of pride in protecting that blind side. Phillip Daniels has been great at right tackle. You know what they got in the middle of that offensive line, and then we got a quarterback who's not going to hold the ball and put you in compromised situations. That's even more fun. Like, the other thing that I think they don't have to deal with is a, ineligible receiver downfield, because that ain't Julian Sayin's game. He ain't going to be running around trying to make people miss and or find somebody open downfield, risking an offensive lineman getting downfield and getting a penalty, calling that play back. It's really fallen into place for them. Now, it's a long way between here and Michigan or the Big Ten championship, let alone the national championship game. But everything that we've seen so far from Ohio State would have us believe it can be one of the 2 best teams in the sport and defend its national championship, making it the first one that gets to defend it back-to-back seasons since Georgia in 21 and 22. And they can do this, I think, if they develop the run game. I don't think that they're going to keep this streak going for that much longer. I mean, actually, if you're an Ohio defensive player, you want to see this thing go down at your hands. But when you are as capable as this Ohio State Buckeyes team has been, and you can have a quarterback who can get rid of the ball in 2.61 seconds, which would make him top 10 in the NFL. When you have an offensive line that has not given up a sack in 2 games, hadn't given up a sack against a ranked opponent, you can expect to continue to get better, all while your defense is also continuing to get better with a new play caller who is finding the very small, minute details that he can change, that he can tweak to make that car even faster. My goodness. I'm floored. I really am. I want to see them keep this up. Can they keep this up for the next 13 weeks? We will find out together.